Hey, how you doing today? It's Mike with another message for you. Today I was lucky enough to have coffee with a good friend of mine that I haven't seen in a few years. Um, I did see her maybe 2 days ago at another function that I went to, but other than that, I hadn't seen her for a couple years, and I only saw her for about 30 seconds. And so I was like, we got to do coffee. So we went and finally had coffee, and it was great to catch up. I was able to kind of go through my story with her. She said, she had thought that I just kind of blew her off and wasn't getting back to her. And, she was kind of upset about that. And when she said she tried to reach out to me a couple times during my during my dark time period that I had. And, she finally got to realize today what I actually went through, and kind of walked her through everything. And it was comforting for her to understand that I didn't just write her off. It was nothing she did, and that she's still a great person in my book, and all that. But she told me that in the past 3 years, her mother has died, her father has died, her one sister has died, and another sister is on hospice. And this is all within the last 3 years, which is crazy. But she's not. She's like my age. She's like 40, 46, 47 years old, something like that. So her sisters are around the same age, and it's just freaky things that they're dying from and getting on. And her husband almost died too. So my point is that you know I would choose Jesus now if I were you, because tomorrow is never promised. And it's like taking out a life insurance policy. Only it's the life insurance policy you're taking out is, am I going to go to heaven or am I going to go to hell? And the sooner you find Jesus and the sooner you get connected to Him, the sooner you can start working on that relationship and building it with Him, building it with God, and getting to a point where they trust you enough to bring you into heaven. Because it's not something as simple as just saying, I'm saved, yay, I'm going to heaven. That's not how it works. It's, I'm saved, now what are you going to do to prove it to me that you're um, good enough to enter into heaven? By your actions, by how you live your life. Are you living your life like Jesus? Because remember, Jesus was sent here to be born as a baby, to be raised as a human, and He was to be the example for every other person on planet Earth at that time. To be the example from God of how you were supposed to live your life. And all He did was walk around and try to teach people what they needed to do to live their lives the right way, and how they needed to do it, and what they needed to say, and who they needed to pray to, and how they needed to just live. And they killed Him. They killed Him. But He was the one that was sent here to teach every one of the people here on earth at that time, thousands of years ago. Well, it's just amazing to me that people didn't recognize that at the time. But, God has a mysterious way of working through people sometimes. And, there's just certain people out there in this world that get connected to Him, that I feel are put here to help other people become connected to Jesus as well. I feel like I'm one of them. I feel like, I've been called to do this podcast and called to try to bring as many people back to Christ as I possibly can, so that, Jesus, and God can then work on them from there. My job is to get them to believe that there is a Jesus and there is a God, or at least think that there could be, and then have them hopefully pray, and then they can take it from there, you know. Um, but once you start walking this path, what I want to talk about today is some kind of maybe higher level type stuff here, um, is once you start walking this path with Jesus, and you start following his way, you start becoming more intimate. I think that's the word I wanted to say, is intimate, yeah, with God. And not in a romantic or a sexy kind of way, just in an intimate, in a very close kind of way, like a close encounter kind of way. Um, and it's really important, for you, the closer you get to God, that you have a place that you can go to pray and to have some alone time with God. I joke with people that my time is, I have my coffee with Jesus in the morning on my back deck in my house in the screened in gazebo that we have. Um, and that's where I connect with Jesus. But that's not the only place. I connect with God all day long, as much as possible. I want as much as possible. Um, the time I get with Him is so precious, and I appreciate it so much. But all I want is just more time with God. So when I'm in my car, you know, I'm either scrolling, through Facebook at the red lights, or listening to music that he puts up on my Facebook feed, trying to listen to how he's communicating to me that way. Or sometimes I'll just shut everything off and I'll just talk to him in the car, just me and him. And I'll just say, what do I need to know today? Teach me this, teach me that, give me more wisdom. Um, because I don't know everything. I never will know everything. That's not my department to know everything, but he does. So why not learn from somebody who is the most important person out there to learn the wisdom from? Um, you know, Sometimes, like what I have been going through, um, has been kind of a period of isolation for me. It has been a period of kind of keeping me away from being out in public eye around all the different events and things like that in my industry. Yes, I've been going to Bible studies. Yes, I've been going to church, but it's pretty much I do what I need to do and then I just go home and I spend time with my family and my kids and my wife. And if I have to take them somewhere, I'll go to a baseball game or something like that. But it's very low key. There's no big major activities that I've been doing to like go out. So it's been more of a isolated type of a season for me. And I think as you progress with the intimacy of your relationship with God, He wants to put you in a situation in your life where you do have this isolated period with Him, so you can focus on things and you can grow. And if you think about it, all of Jesus's higher level people, or all of God's higher level people, had their isolation periods. If you read the Bible, Jesus had his isolation period. Several of the apostles had their isolation periods while they were learning and growing and getting to that next level there. And, you need to figure out how you can get even closer to God during this time, during this isolated period. And one is the whole point, is isolation. It's just you and Him, so you can focus on talking with Him and growing with Him. But one of the ways you can get there is by fasting and praying. You'll grow with God, and He will lead you into a deeper kind of prayer where you'll be talking to Him, and before you know it, you'll be saying stuff that you don't even know what it's coming out of your mouth or what you're saying. And it'll be a different kind of prayer than you've ever kind of experienced before. He'll take you deeper into the Word, into the Bible. So this is for my Bible study friends who know the Bible, know the Word, they know all that stuff. That's fine. That's all great. But this is saying, even if you don't know the Bible, don't worry. You can still go into a very deep relationship with God and with Jesus, because they will teach you what they want you to know from the Word. It's not necessarily knowing all of it, but they will teach you what you need to know from it. And they'll put it in front of you in various different ways. It could be emails, it could be on the radio, it could be through social media, it could be, you just opening your Bible up and starting reading, and them directing you where to turn the page to, stuff like that. So, um, in this period of isolation, will kind of allow secrets to be released to you regarding your destiny, of what God's plans are for you. Now, He won't necessarily let you know all the plans, but you'll come to a deeper understanding and a deeper relationship with Him, where you will fully trust and fully experience, um, His grace, and that He will take care of you for everything and all of your needs, no matter what it is. If it's, health needs, if it's, physical health, mental health, if it's financial needs, if it's, shelter needs, food needs, monetary stuff. He'll make sure that you have what you need to be able to make it through wherever He's taking you to go next. And, this is where, during this isolation period, where you can have the conversations with Him, and you can let Him know, what are your hopes and what are your dreams? What are the biggest goals and dreams and desires that you have in your life that you want to do? Explore that. You know, meditate on that. Think about what you want to accomplish with your life. Like like my friend today, I had coffee with her. She said something to me about, if I died tomorrow, what would people say about me? Well, I told her, I said, it's not about what people would say about you. That doesn't matter. It's all about what God says about you. It's all about what's in your heart. And that's all that matters. Because people in this world can be cruel, and they can be extra cruel to kind people who have good, pure hearts too, because they don't. They have evil hearts. And it's easier for them to try to make you out to be a bad person, by calling you crazy Christians, or, man, he's lost it and he's out in left field, and can you believe this stuff he's talking about? He has no clue what he's talking about. I get that. I know there's people out there that watch this stuff and say he's nuts. I don't know what he's talking about. Well, I know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about how I live my life. I'm talking about how you grow with God. I'm talking about how spiritually you become connected to Him and to Jesus through the Holy Spirit that you get. um, and let's see, and ultimately being isolated and being closer with Him hopefully will result in a greater anointing of yourself. Um, Now, that's not to say you're going to be the next Jesus, because there's only one Jesus. And that's not to say you're going to be the next even apostle. That's just to say that you're somebody extra special. You've been through the basic beginner training course, and now you're at the advanced level where you're talking with God, and you're on the same, um, on the same, we'll say, playing field, so to speak, for Earth, um, where you're kind of talking to Him and just being intimate with Him, and knowing that He just loves you so much like a father, and that you are His son or you are His daughter, and you are completely accepted by Him, and that you have His full protection from anything and everything, no matter how evil or demonic it might be, will never be able to touch you, will never be able to hurt you, um, no matter what, you know. And that is what it's all about. That is what it's all about. And that's so if you find yourself in a period where you've gone through the steps, you've been saved, you started living your life as Jesus would, and then you start to say, why am I like becoming isolated? Part of that also is he's protecting you from people in your life that shouldn't be in your life right now. And he's starting to close doors on relationships for you that are not good for you anymore, and they're not healthy for you anymore. And he's replacing those relationships with new relationships with new people who are better to be around, who are more godlike. We'll just use that. So you'll start being around people who have the same values as you do and think about life the same way you do, and treat people the same way you do, and just have a love for everybody the same way you do. And it's not easy, to find super kind people out there. They're out there, but it's not easy to find them all the time, because there's just so much evil, and there's so much distracted people, and there's so many people out in the world that are spiritually just dead. And they just go through life, and they don't have any concept of God or spirituality or church or anything. And those are the people that when you're in traffic, they're doing 95 miles an hour behind you on the beltway, and they got to cut over real quick, and they got to cut over real quick, and they're trying to run everybody off the road. Most of the time that's those people, and that's what I'm talking about. They're everywhere, and you just have to let them go. You should let them do their thing, and then pray for them, and hope that they do one day find Jesus before it's too late. Before it's too late, because you never know when you're going to wind up on your deathbed. Doesn't matter how old you are. You don't know how much time you got left. So you may as well meet the guy as soon as possible, and just try to start doing this program so you can try to get into heaven. Because that's the goal. This whole life down here is just one big test. How did you respond to it? Were you nice to everybody? Did you do the right thing when nobody was looking? Because he sees everything, no matter what. He knows it all. Even if you think it's a secret, it's not a secret. He sees it all, knows it all. There's nothing you can hide, nothing at all. So you may as well just come clean, admit your mistakes, go get saved, and then try to start working on rebuilding your life and becoming, we'll call it born again, where you have a new birth of your life, where you are starting over as a Christian, as a good person who's going to always do the right thing, and then treat others the right way, and then ultimately help him find other people who are broken and lost and spiritually dead themselves, and help them come back and help them be reached. That's what the whole goal is to reach as many people as you can. And if everybody would do that, imagine what type of nation we could live in. even just a quarter of the people, 25% of the people, if everybody, one of them, would come to God and believe in God and start living the way Jesus did, and then they would find one other person, every one of them would find one other person, then we would be at 50%. Then if all of them would find one person, we'd be at 100%. That's how easy it could be. But there's so much evil, and there's so much distraction, and there's so much misery, and there's so much stress, and there's so much worry, and there's so much anxiety. People just freak out about everything. But you don't have to. You can live a peaceful life that's very easy and laid back, and things just all work themselves out. They do. Nothing's a problem. Well, nothing's a problem till it's a problem, but even when you have a problem, just pray, man. Just talk to God and say, what should I do with this? I mean, just by me shooting this video, I just got a text message from somebody saying, I really didn't want to have to tell you this, but we sent over a repair request from the home inspection yesterday. So I know I'm going to have an issue that I need to deal with. But I'm going to look at it, and then I'm going to pray to God, and I'm going to say, God, what should I do? How should I handle this? And then I'm going to listen to him. Then I'm going to do what he tells me to do. And it's all going to work itself out, and we're going to be fine, and we're going to close on it, and everybody's going to go to settlement, and everybody's going to be happy, because that's the way it's going to go. Because he's the one that blessed me with these people in the first place, and he's the one that blessed me with the contract in the first place. But see, not everybody thinks about it like that. Other agents that don't have God might just be flipping out. Oh my God, how am I going to get this done? How am I going to fix this? Oh my God, this is going to blow the whole deal up. No. Take a deep breath. Relax. And just ask for help. That's all you got to do. And he'll help you. Not hard. So, that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about today. Let's see if there's anything else I wrote down. But yeah, that's the season of isolation, and that's kind of like I said. That's that next level up from living your life like Jesus, and then he takes you to that isolation level. Now I don't know what the next level is because I ain't there yet. But if once I figure that out, I'll let you know, and I'll keep you posted on how my spiritual awakening is going for me. But this is my job, is to teach you how it works. So far, that's all I know. I don't know what the next steps are. I believe I know some of the next steps. I believe that there are some serious plans and some serious blessings and things that are going to be happening for me. I do believe that from what I see and what I hear, but I don't know when, It could be a day from now, it could be a week from now, it could be a month from now, it could be by the end of the year, it could be 5 years from now. I don't know. That's where the timing is not mine. The timing is God, and he will figure that out, and he will make it perfect timing whenever it needs to happen. And that's just what you have to believe. You have to wait patiently. You have to wait patiently and just be his servant, be fully submitted to him, and submit yourself over, and just let him take you where he's going to take you, wherever that is. You don't know that either. Could be moving, don't know. But whatever he needs me to do is what I'm going to do. It's just the way it goes. So, anyway, if you liked what you heard, give me some thumbs ups, give me some comments, share it on social media if you think other people might benefit from it. And other than that, hopefully my Ravens have a little better week this week than they did last week, and we win since Taylor Swift won't be there. Not at our game anyway. And we win, and we get back on track. So, other than that, have a good rest of your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. And God bless everybody.